So, when I think about DJs, no matter the genre or what style of music you play, I think DJs can really be broken down into two different types, right? There's the DJs that are super stoic and super focused on the task of, you know, blending and mixing records. And there's the other type of DJ that's like myself that plays with a lot of emotion. They're dancing around while they're playing. They might be singing along to the songs that they're playing, trying to interact with the crowd as they're playing. And while I don't think either one of those is wrong, I've seen great DJs be each. Uh, Prime examples of the more stoic DJs, I would say, is like Justice that I've seen. Geseffelstein, super stoic on the way he plays, just super serious. And it fits their style. And like I said, neither one of them are wrong. But the way that I DJ, the way that just kind of came naturally to me was to be a little bit more interactive. And I guess that just comes from my love of music and love hearing songs that I really appreciate. And also the DJs that I kind of looked up to coming up when I was starting to gig out. Even though I don't play this style of music, I would say DJ Mehdi had a huge impact on, I guess, my style of stage presence when I play. He was always, bouncing around. He just exuded, positive energy in the way he played. And like I always thought, like, man, every time I've seen him DJ, like I can't help but, feel good. And I'm from the school of thought that the energy that you give out to the crowd is the energy that you'll receive in return. Now, it doesn't work out all the time, but when you feel that in sync with the crowd and you can tell, they're loving the music you're playing, they're loving your energy and they're returning it back to you, it's a feeling that, and I tell a lot of people this is like the best drug in the world, right? It's something that I try to chase every time I play. It's just, you know, a big reason why I enjoy DJing is that feeling of just like having the crowd in your hand and, you know, you feel like you can do no wrong. If you've played enough gigs out, I'm sure you've experienced this. And also, too, if you've played enough gigs out, I'm sure you've experienced the exact opposite. And that's kind of what this video is about. Like I said, I play with my emotions. I play with my heart on my sleeve, and it, although like those great moments are great, the lows can be really low, right? Uh, I know I start to get in my head a little bit about second guessing myself if I can't get a feel on the crowd and I can't get like a read on what to do or where to take the party. And of course, just being experienced enough and doing this long enough, like I can make it through a night that I don't think is great, but I feel so emotionally and mentally drained by the end of it, right? If you feel like you're giving your all for a few hours and you don't feel like you're getting that in return, it can be pretty draining. One of my weekly residencies goes from 10 p.m. to 4:30 to 5 a.m. And I got asked by a bigger name DJ. He heard about that gig, and one of our mutual friends said, that's probably the hardest gig I play all week. And when I saw him, he asked me, like, what do you think makes it so hard? And it's exactly that for me personally. It's that when I do play there, I've had countless amounts of great nights, but when it's bad for me, it can get pretty bad, right? Where the crowd's still having a good time. I wouldn't say I'm doing a bad job. Money's still being made at the bar, people are still dancing, but you feeling that connection and not feeling that connection, or I should say, not feeling that connection with the crowd because it's they don't like whoever's there that evening isn't really 100% feeling like where we're taking the evening, and it feels like pulling teeth in a way. And for someone like me that plays with my emotions, as far as like putting everything I can into it, it it can be, I don't I don't know if hurtful is the right word, but it's draining. But I'll say it makes me a better DJ. Learning to persevere through that, it makes me a better DJ because in those times of when your back's against the wall and you don't feel like you got it right, you have to start digging for other things and trying to learn ways to get out of it. And I'll say, like, when I first came to Vegas, when I started DJing here, I didn't have as many tools in my tool bag as a DJ to, get myself out of those modes, or know how to, navigate the night to make it better. Now I do, and I know when I'm using those kind of like blends or mixes or techniques or whatever it takes to get the crowd, a little bit more into it. But I also know in the back of my mind, like, man, this isn't going that well. And that thought, along with the fact that, man, it is 11:30 and I have to do this until damn near the sun comes up, that can be very challenging if you haven't built up a tougher skin. And I always think, like, if I was the other kind of DJ that's just more stoic and just more focused on the craft, and just I don't want to say I don't look like I'm having a good time, but just my energy isn't as shown on my face, would it feel different? Would I still doubt myself as much? Would I still feel as mentally and emotionally exhausted at the end of those nights? I mean, I'll never know. I'm just not that kind of DJ, and I'm one of those that'll play to my strengths. Like, if that's how I'm naturally gonna play, that's how I'm gonna play, and it's worked out for me this far in my career. But man, playing with emotion. I mean, at the end of the day, what we do is it's creative, right? It's an art, and I think any great art takes emotion to be great. Not to say, again, being stoic and just being like super focused on what you're doing isn't showing that kind of emotion. It's just a different type of emotion. But playing with your heart on your sleeve, it's it can be a double-edged sword. And I've seen lots of younger DJs kind of crack under that pressure and not know what to do, and just doubt themselves. And I've always been the type, especially in those situations when I'm playing, if I'm playing with a younger DJ that I can tell is kind of having a hard time, to just encourage them. Yo, don't worry about it. Just keep going, keep doing your thing. If they hit me with the, oh man, I don't know what to play, and it's a room that I'm familiar with, I might just give them a few suggestions, or like, oh, you might want to try this, or try going here, see how it goes. But maybe it just has to do with like my background of like playing like organized sports when I was younger, and just being around like team environments where I know the best way that I react is encouragement, right? Positive reinforcement. That's not for everybody, and I understand that, but I know that works for me. And in a situation like that, when you're feeling down on yourself, I think that's the best thing you can do, is just be positive and be constructive, and just give reassurance to the people that might be doubting themselves when they can do the job. I've seen DJs not do that. I've been guilty of not doing that sometimes if I'm just not, in the mood or not feeling it. But my natural reaction is to try to be positive, try to, make the best out of the evening. But like I said, it can be tough, man. It's just, I love the feeling of, making a crowd's night, making people in the crowd happy, and I show that outwardly when I play. And no matter what the case is, oh, sorry, the wife is calling. It's live, folks. I'll have to get back to her. No matter what the case is, even if I'm having a bad night, I'd rather fall on my sword and be the DJ that I know I am deep down inside. Jesus. Mute this. I'd rather fall on my sword and be the DJ that, I know that I am, and the DJ that I know I'm best being, which is, playing with my heart on my sleeve and playing out to the crowd and giving them everything I can, even when I'm feeling down and out. And I think this is something that I don't think a lot of people that aren't DJs will understand, how draining it can be to play, especially for a long period of time. I don't remember exactly where I heard this. It was on, I think, like a DJ podcast, or I saw a clip of it, where DJing is tough because if you think about it, you're making one of the most important decisions of a night every 90 to 120 seconds. If you're playing like an open format room, or even if you're playing like dance music and you have a little bit more time, even if it's every 2 to 4 minutes, you're making the most important decision of the night, because if you make the wrong choice, people could leave, the venue could make less money. If you make the wrong choice, maybe the manager gets upset, and there are decisions that stack over the night. Like if you make 4 to 5 wrong decisions in a row because you're not sure where to take it, the night will go downhill really quickly, and it takes a way longer to get yourself out of that hole. And think about that decision-making fatigue compounded over hours of you playing. It's just natural to feel exhausted and drained at the end of it, where someone that doesn't do this for a living, or someone that doesn't DJ, just looks like it, like, oh, you're just playing music and it's a party and people are having a good time, when it can kind of be the opposite, right? Where you're so emotionally and mentally invested in the party and in your set and making sure everyone's having a good time, you're sacrificing your mental and emotional health to a degree. But I love it, man. I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change the way I play, even if it meant a little bit, less mental and emotional stress. But it's a give and take, and I love what I do. But I'm curious, what kind of DJ are you? Are you one of those DJs that are just hyper focused on mixing and just making sure everything's great, and you don't outwardly show how you're feeling or if you're enjoying yourself? That sounds bad, but or are you the DJ that plays with their heart on their sleeve and gives all of their energy to the crowd? Really curious. This is something that I've been thinking about for a while. Please leave your responses in the comments. I'll be sure to read all of them and respond to as many as I can. And of course, if you're interested in more DJ related content, please be sure to click on one of the videos right here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.